Hey guys, it's Stephanie. Welcome back to my channel. I have my January wrap up for you guys, which I'm so excited to share with you, like my favorite books. So I read 24 books last month, which I was really proud of, and I thought I would talk about my favorites. So on Instagram, I picked my top 3. I kind of cheated a little bit. But I'm not even sorry. So my number 1 pick, which will probably be my number 1 pick for the entire year, was the Ravenhood series by Kate Stewart. That series absolutely destroyed my soul and just left it in the gutter, like destroyed it. It's so good. So it's 3 books. You have Flock, Exodus, and The Finish Line. Flock, you're pretty much confused the majority of the time, except for chapter 25. It follows Cecilia. I really can't tell you like what it's about. It's loosely a modern day Robin Hood retelling, but it's like more than that. So it follows Cecilia, who goes to Triple Falls to live with her father for a year. Her father and her are estranged. They've never really had a relationship. He pays child support and that's it, but he is a very wealthy man, and her mom grew up very poor. So he says, you need to come live with me for a year, work in my factory, and when that is done, I will give you your inheritance. And so she goes because she wants to take care of her mom. And the first day at work, she meets Sean, and they hit it off immediately. And Sean speaks in riddles. Like, you don't really know what's going on half the time. So that book, like, literally got me hooked. I was very confused. Exodus literally ripped my heart out of my chest, completely shredded it, threw it on the floor, stomped on it, and then, like, fed it to a cat. Like, I just left it. Absolutely destroyed me. I walked around my house sobbing for days, maybe weeks. I still can't watch all the TikToks without, like, crying. Okay, so that's how like emotionally like destroying that book is. And then The Finish Line sort of helps you heal a little bit. It gives you some answers. Any questions that you had in the first 2 books are definitely answered in the final book. And I know what you're thinking, Stephanie, why would I want to do that? Well, you can ask the at least 20 people I've personally convinced to read these books, and they all come to me and say the same thing. I can't stop crying. I'm destroyed. I don't know how to recover. I don't think you actually do recover, but it is literally the best series I've ever read, and I don't know what's going to top it. I know that she's writing a 4th book. It's very, very early stages. I love this so much that I read it on Kindle Unlimited. I immediately went and reactivated my Audible subscription, and so I could listen to it and buy the audiobooks. And I am very much impatiently waiting, Kate, I'm looking at you, for her shop to open up so I can get signed copies, because I literally can't live without signed copies. So that's how much I love these books. They're amazing. Just read them. Just read them. My second favorite book was Two Fights by Nikki Castle. You guys know I love 5 Rounds by Nikki Castle. It's sports romance, enemies to lovers. So good. If you haven't read it, check it out. It is on Kindle Unlimited. Two Fights is also on Kindle Unlimited. I was very fortunate to get an ARC, and I devoured that book. It was so good. It follows Haley and Jax. Haley in the first part of the book is in a very emotionally abusive relationship, so I think it's important for everybody to read this book. Like, there were some lines in there that literally sucked the air from my lungs, like just hit home with past relationships, and I just think it's important to read it and kind of like see her thought process and like what she went through and how abuse is not always visible. And I think that's really important. And then the second half of the book is about her and Jax. And Jax is her sister's best friend, and she's known him since she was a small kid. Always had a crush on him, but then they just became like really good friends, and it kind of goes into something more. And Jax is amazing. Okay, super spicy. I will say it's more of a slow burn. Like, you don't get into any spicy parts until at least like I think halfway through, if not more. But when you get there, you get there. The third one, I also cheated, and I said this series, also in Kindle Unlimited. It is Bad Habit, Bad Intentions, and Bad Influence by Charleigh Rose. I loved these books. One of my book friends, Kelsey, told me I had to read them, so I immediately picked them up. I read each book in a day. I love them so much I bought physical copies. They are so good, and I love these because it's not your typical like billionaire romance, which I appreciate as good as The Next Girl. These have grit to them. These have real life, like hard situations. So good. I love these books. So I just want to like go through and tab them right now. You know what I mean? Another honorable mention is The Takeover by T.L. Swan. Now, I have read the entire series, and this was actually a book I listened to last month, and I had read it a few years ago, and when then I discovered that the audio is free on Kindle Unlimited. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to listen to get back into audiobooks. I listened to books I had already read, and I forgot how much I love this book, so I had to buy the physical copy. Tristan freaking Miles, you guys, may be the ultimate book boyfriend. This book has everything. It has spice, it has plot, it has humor, TikTok. Like, this is so funny. And I will say that, like, Claire is older than Tristan. She is a widow. She has 3 boys, and I didn't feel like this would actually be a plot that I would go towards. I will say she lost her husband. It's not a secret in the book, but she lost her husband because he was training for a triathlon, and he was out practicing riding his bike early in the morning and got hit, and he died. And that's like kind of a trigger for me because my husband does Ironman races, and I get really nervous when he is out practicing. So this book hit a little bit harder than I anticipated because I forgot about that, and now like my husband's really in the thick of it, and so that was hard for me. But this book is so good. 5 stars. I love everything about this book. Tristan Miles, I will say I've read the whole series. No brother compares to Tristan. Fight me. It's him. Some other honorable mentions from this month is It Happened One Summer. I love Tessa Bailey. You can see this is when I started my tabbing journey. I love Tessa Bailey. Here's the thing. She has these cute, my son got a hold of this book. She has these cute illustrated covers. Those are so deceiving. Her books are spicy, you guys. Like, so spicy, so good. The plots are amazing. I love all her books. I have several of them. This one was so cute, you guys. I loved it. I can't wait for the second book to come out. I've already pre-ordered it. And then she has another book coming out on my birthday, June 6th. I've already pre-ordered that one. She's an auto buy for me. I love her. I love her so much. Another one I really enjoyed was You Deserve Each Other by Sarah Hoggle. This fun fact, this is actually my friend's cousin. I had no idea until I shared it on Instagram. My friend Rachel was like, oh, that's my cousin. And I was like, what? That's so awesome. This book, you guys, was so cute. It was funny. I wouldn't say it was super spicy. I think there was only maybe like one like spicy scene, but I thoroughly enjoyed this book. It was so cute. It was basically sort of like they're engaged to be married, but neither one of them, they kind of grew apart, but they can't break off the wedding because otherwise she has to pay for it. She doesn't have the money for it. And so they're like trying to like get the other one to break up with each other first, but in the end, like they kind of realize maybe they do love each other. It's just so cute, so funny. I loved it. I loved it so much. Nicholas is hilarious in this book. I loved it. And then, why have I been sleeping on this book, you guys? I have had this book since last year. It was the Book of the Month version. Guys, this book was so good. I don't know what it was, but like I was blushing when Michael was like kissing Stella. Like there is something about the way she wrote this book where I was like, oh my, I was blushing. Like, so good. I loved it so much. I will say I read The Bride Test. I did not love it as much. There was just something that it just wasn't holding my interest. I mean, am I glad I read it? Yeah, absolutely. It did not hold a candle to this one. I've heard The Heart Principle is really good. I took a break just because I just was not feeling The Bride Test, but this one was so good, you guys. Other honorable mentions that I just don't have physical copies of are Darling Venom. Kate Stewart, who wrote the Ravenhood series, actually started a book club on Facebook, and Darling Venom was the book for January. I loved that book. I thought it was really, really good. Definitely check your trigger warnings on that one. It was, older brother situation. But it's a heavy, heavy topic. I will say I read that literally right off Ravenhood, so that book did not destroy me the way it did everybody else, but it was so beautiful. It was really well written. I loved it so much. And after that, I loved her writing so much. I read Devious Lies. I loved that book. I mean, that probably would have, it's top 5 for sure that I read all month. It was so, so good. And it was a big one too. Like I shared it in a couple of groups. It was on Kindle Unlimited, so it was Darling Venom. And apparently it's like 700 pages. I read it in a day. That's how much I loved it. A few books that I did not like. The Atlas 6. I saw that all over TikTok. I just didn't like it, you guys. I gave it 3 stars. I was being very, very generous. I found it hard to follow. None of the characters were really likable. I just didn't love it at all. The rest of them I liked, just maybe didn't love, was I read Brutal Prince and Stolen Heir by Sophie Lark. Sophie Lark is all over the gram, and I liked the books. I did not love them. I don't know what was missing for me. I thought that they were well written, but there was just something missing. But I had so many, like, 5 stars in January that I might have just been that. I don't know. I've heard so many good things about her other books, so I will go back to it, but I stopped after those 2 because I wanted to read Twisted Love, which I did love. I thought it was really good. I think I gave it 4 stars. What else? Oh, I read Off to the Races, also on Kindle Unlimited. I gave that one 3 stars. It was cute. It was a little cheesy, but I liked it. It was like a nice little palate cleanser. So overall, I would say the only book that I just didn't like was The Atlas 6. Other than that, I had a really good month, you guys. So if you guys have some good books, let me know. If you guys keep track of your reading, let me know what you read in January. What was your favorite book? Because I will check it out if I haven't read it already. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's a little bit longer than normal, but I read so many good books. I just had to talk about them. That's all I have. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.